don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Sack of the board. I hope you are all doing well. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. I'm still down in the dumps about the whole situation at Leeds. I suppose a lot of us are as well, but we have to kick on. We have to stay strong. This is a bit of a rallying cry. We have to give our full support to Michael Skubala and the team. We can still say loud and proud, sack of the board. But as for the team and Michael Skubala, we have to have faith that they can get results. If Leeds United come out, I keep seeing managers being linked. I keep seeing managers being linked, and it's codswallop at this point. For me, we spoke about it yesterday. I don't want to cover all ground too much, but ultimately, the club are hoping and praying that Michael Skubala gets positive results out of Everton versus Southampton. If he does, they will keep him in the job. I understand the decision at that point, but I'm not going to give them any credit whatsoever because it's purely based on nothing factual. It's literally, sticking your finger out in the air and hoping something comes off. This isn't having the best interests of the football club at heart. It's them being shady. It's them being schneid. It's them not wanting to put money up to get a specific manager. Even if you have to go against your principles, and get a Nuno in, for example. He's been linked again today. We're seeing the guy who's manager of Monaco, all this sort of stuff. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't let this board trick you again. Like, ultimately, the board are hoping and praying that Michael Skubala pulls it off, and then they'll go for their man in the summer. But again, don't give them credit, please. Like, I beg you, do not give these guys credit. They've had their credit, but the last 18 months, they've done nothing but just remove all that. You know what I mean? Because their egos are too big, and Victor Orta's got too much power. And I'll say it, and I'll say it again, sack of the ball. There you go. I'll stand by that statement. I mean, he told us himself, right? He said it himself loud and proud after we came back from 3-0 down to beat Bournemouth. Sack of the board, sack of the board. Just to further put some, I guess, some weight on that. Leeds United are the only Premier League team out of the whole 20 since that game to not win a Premier League game. So take your sack of the board and stick it where the sun don't shine. That's what I will say. But today, we are here to talk about Michael Skubala. Obviously, Leeds United have 2 huge games coming between now and if we're going to keep Skubala or not. But the next 2 games are relegation 6-pointers, if ever there was one. Southampton sit bottom of the table. Everton are a point behind us in 8th. Big period for the club. And hopefully Michael Skubala can put out a team that will get us results. I watched Connor's video earlier. If you haven't watched it, check it out. 3 reasons why Skubala's the right man. It was a good watch this morning. Big up to LUFC Will as well for the love in the comments. Thank you very much, mate. It means a lot. I'll get some comments flashed up in a second. But basically, look, the jury's still out yet. And the reason I say this is, and I guess I'm giving Jesse a little bit of praise here as well, which is not normally, pigs are not flying, don't worry. Sometimes he does deserve some praise. Leeds United, under Jesse and the Red Bull system that we look to adopt, yes, we're still seeing little bits of it, but not as much, I don't think, under Skubala. And I think we press differently. I think we defend differently. We don't get caught in transition as much. That's just from the eye test. Others may say different. But Jesse always did well against better sides. If you look at his big results, they came against Liverpool, they came against Chelsea. Whenever, the impetus was on us to break down a low or mid block, Leeds United struggled to create chances. And this is where Skubala is going to have to really come into his own, because Jesse, if we're being totally honest, even if you're a big Jesse pipe smoker, you must admit that when the onus was on Leeds United to break teams down, we very much struggled to do it. The only times I think when we did, I'm thinking about West Ham, and I know it sounds mad because, you know, we scored 2 in that game, I believe, and Nonto scored a great goal, but it was very much, you know, catching them on the fly. It was from a throw-in. I think both goals were from a throw-in. One in our own half, one just on halfway. And they're them moments when you catch them unawares, you know. But when they're sat in there, I remember the amount of times Leeds United would try thread it through the eye of a needle, and Declan Rice, being the baller that he is, you know, positional awareness, was just able to cut them out, cut them passing lanes, get in front of his man. And that's the Premier League for you. This isn't Austria. You know, this isn't Belgium, like your man Schrouder, etc. That Victor was ready to give the job, by the way. That's why I was in panic mode. That's why I wanted, you know, if you're going to panic, just get someone who's gonna keep us tight at the back. I know people will disagree that we're not set up for that and stuff, but I disagree with that. You know, I think we would have. But listen, we've got to look forward. I've got to try and look forward. Obviously, we've got the press conference tomorrow as well of Michael Skubala. He's been great in them. He has my utmost support, and I think he speaks really well. And it'll be interesting to see if he changes at all. Now he's been given the job for 2 more games. If he has more meat on the bones when it comes round to his tactical nous, if you like, if he wants to give us more ideas, I'm not too sure. But listen, big shout out Joe Donahue. Big shout out Joe Donahue, who's just done a bit of a tell-all article on Michael Skubala. Joe Donahue obviously follows the under-21s, and that's where Skubala's been prior to him getting the caretaker job. So he's done a little bit of an article on him. There is also an article available, which I will put the link in the description for anyone that does want to do it, as well as, you know, Joe's as well. But I'm just going to share an article with you now, which is available on the Coach's Voice, which is specifically, you know, I guess a long read on Michael Skubala. I've took some bits from that. It talks about his time at futsal and his non-league management career, etc. So if anyone wants to get a read of that, just to get some more in-depth knowledge on Michael Skubala, you can do, and I will put the link in the comments in just a sec. There's also been an article done, as I say, by Joe Donahue, great writer, knows his ball. You can't see that, can you? He's done an article as well, of which I've took certain bits from, just for us to have a discussion about, really. But obviously, out of, I guess, all the Leeds United news writers, if you like, Joe Donahue is probably best placed to give us the lowdown on Michael Skubala, because you know, he follows the under-21s, you know, notoriously. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Sometimes I try to say big words. There's a guy who keeps correcting me in the comments for saying reactionary. Because it's to do with political ideas or something. For you who are watching, like I've said to someone about agenda, what I will say to you, brother, is reactionary, because it clearly grinds your goat. You know what I mean? So reactionary. It's nothing to do with my political beliefs. I am just reactionary. I have reactions. Like a cat to certain beliefs around Leeds United. I hope that clears that up for you, bro. If not, go bite a pillow or something. Go touch some grass. Just chill out, mate. It's not that deep. If you haven't already, please do smash a like on the video. We've only got 88 likes. We've now got 89. So if you could get that up to 100 likes ASAP, that would be great if you could do it for me. So let's talk about Michael Skubala. Just him, the man, first of all. And then we'll have a talk about if we believe he will get results in the next 2. Mark says, Joe, you've turned into therapy sessions to help my Leeds United stress levels. I need it as well. Keep the videos coming. Let's hope Scoobs can get us over the line. Exactly, mate. That's where I'm at as well. Jesse hasn't been confirmed as of yet, no, as the Saints manager. I'm hoping he will do. And listen to Allison and smash a like if you haven't already. Big up to you all. So listen, a little bit on Scoobs. So obviously he was, as a lot of us will know now, he was an England futsal head coach. He led the national team at futsal and led them to their highest FIFA world ranking in 2 decades. He did play the game himself, and he represented his country more than 60 times. Again, like, this isn't it's not comparable for me. And this is why I feel a little bit, I don't know, embarrassment's not the right word, but well, I guess it is in a way, because we're a Premier League club and we're employing a futsal coach. Like, I love Scoobs, but he's not really the guy, I don't think. You know, this is the Premier League. This is £400 million worth of at stake, and we're giving it to a guy that's led the national team at futsal. I guess in terms of futsal knowledge, he's up there, but yeah, Skubala as well, just to further add, he also has a degree in sports science and psychology, which can have a positive effect, I think, if you can get in the mind of certain players, definitely. He's worked in a coaching capacity with England's youth teams as well, so it isn't just on futsal. He has also worked with the youth teams at international level, and has also been involved at Coventry and Nottingham Forest. Okay, he's been involved at both them academies as well, so he does have a lot of experience. You know, we're talking 20 years or so of him working in the game. He was also at a young age, just 23-year-old, appointed assistant manager of non-league team Barwell. And he coached a lot of ex-professionals there, and many of them were in the 30s. Now, he does go on to say in the Coach's Voice, the article that I mentioned, that, and you have to give sort of validity to this. You do have to give credence to this, that like at 23, he was dealing with players that were a lot older than him, that were ex-pros, that had played the game and probably knew a lot more, or at least thought they did. And he did say, like, you know, I didn't want to go in and have this attitude that just because I have coaching badges, I know more than you. Do you know what I mean? And that there has to be a little bit in that, because he's also now dealing with Premier League footballers. Of course, the step up is massive. Like Jody says, it's non-league, Joe. I get it. I'm only giving you what information we have on him. You know what I mean? Just to give people a little bit more meat on the bones. So he did say in that piece, which I will put in the comments, it was about engaging them with the sessions, learning how to manage the individuals in the group, and figuring out how I could convince them to buy into my project. And it is really challenging when they're a lot older and have played hundreds of league games. It's a case of thinking, who's this guy? Do you know what I mean? We've seen it happen at massive clubs. You could argue it might be happening at Chelsea now. I know, you know, especially that Chelsea old guard, the likes of Terry Lamb, they would get rid of managers because they didn't think they'd have a clue, etc. We've seen it happen at Man United more recently with Ralph Rangnick and Chris Armas. I believe some of it might have gone down at Leeds United under the previous regime as well, under Jesse, if I'm being totally honest. So there is a skill, there is an art to being able to put across ideas. You know, having been at university, and I know I'm sort of just trying to make comparisons, but having been at university and learnt about youth work, you know, coming from an area that I did, from a working class background, I genuinely believed I'd just be able to fit straight in and people would want to listen to what I have to say. It's so untrue. It's so difficult to get the buy-in from young people. And it's the same anywhere. I was a manager for a time at a call centre. You know, you've got to get people's buy-in. Do you know what I mean? And I hear it, Seamus. You might think I'm scraping the barrel, but I'm only going on what I've got, right? And I'm trying to give you an update on who is leading the football club currently. But I do think there is a skill and an art to being able to get people's buy-in, to get people to believe in what you're doing, not coming off the training pitch, not turn. You know, as soon as your back's turned, anyone who's in management will know this, right? As soon as your back's turned, or if you're trying to, you know, lead a team. As soon as your back's turned, like they might be thinking, you know, what's this dude on about? Have you heard what he said earlier? What an idiot. Yeah, he's a knob. Do you know what I mean? That kind of vibe. So it's so difficult to do that. So I do think there is a skill to do that. And he's obviously mentioned about him only being 23 and dealing with players that are a lot, you know, longer in the tooth and have been in the game for a long time. Obviously, he's been with the 21s. Now, he did beat Eric Bakker to that job. Eric Bakker was close to getting the under-21s job. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that, you know, I'd argue I'd be more, even though Skubala beat Eric Bakker, I was thinking about it early, thinking, oh, would it be that bad if Eric Bakker was like leading us now? We'd probably be more on board, right? Because we'd all be like, yo, yeah, Eric Bakker used to play with us, etc., etc. Freddie, super chat, thank you, mate. He says, what if Skubala, they'll get rid, bro. They'll put him back with 21s. This is what I'm saying. There is no sort of thought out process. They're just hoping and praying. It's hoping and praying season. We've been here before. It was the same last season under Jesse. Hoping and praying season. That's where we're at already with, 16 games to go? But I feel that's where we're at. Because we have a guy in charge that, probably shouldn't be. And that's no disrespect to Skubala. But like I say, he's been with the under-21s. And the under-21s did go on a 9-game unbeaten run. As they race to the top of the Premier League 2 Division 2 standings. I don't think it's gone that well since then. And they have played a more attacking, attractive brand of football than what we've seen with the first team. Just a little bit of tactical nuances as well, which do give me some confidence. I'm doing this. I think I'm Salt Bay. I can't stand that guy. But on a few occasions, Skubala's made changes during under-21s games that have ended up in Leeds getting results. Joe Donahue touched on it in the article about when Leeds beat Newcastle under-21s 4-2, and speaks about how he was able to overcome the opponent. It was 1-1 at half-time, and Max Dean and Joe Snowden had been told to press separately instead of as a two-man unit that was bypassed during the first half. And obviously made these tactical tweaks and told them to change the pressing triggers, which we've seen, I think, since Jesse's come in the door. We've definitely seen changes in the way that we press. And that then meant that Leeds United were able to win the ball higher up the pitch and end up winning that game 4-2. Do you know what I mean? They end up winning that game 4-2. Another example, he moved Mateo Joseph out to the left wing during a 21s fixture against Middlesbrough, and he went and got a second half hat-trick. So there has been little instances where he's made changes at under 21s level that have won the game. But again, he changed things too early for me against Manchester United, and on Sunday, we ended up losing the game. You know what I mean? I think the Rutter Bamford sub didn't work, and Aronson didn't give us nowhere near. I said at the time, don't take Jack off. I'd rather genuinely Jack go out to the left and maybe Nonto come off, because I think Jack, if especially when we're playing someone like Man United and you need that structure, he will give you that. He's not going to come out of line. He'll run all day. Will Jack Harrison? And I hear everyone saying, look, clutching at straws. My genuine opinion. Michael Skubala shouldn't be leading the team. I will back him because I really like the man. I feel unfair on him. I think the club have done him dirty. I think they've done us dirty as fans. But what I'm saying is, I'm just giving you a bit more information on Michael Skubala and what's out there. And like I said, there's been an article on the Coach's Voice. There's been the Joe Donahue article as well. Now, admittedly, he has made little changes at under 21 level, but this is the Premier League. This is the Premier League. We've seen players make that step up and just, look totally out of place. Totally out of place. So I think I'm happy with what went on against Man United to an extent. I think we should have had more than the 1 point we got from the 2 games. But I worry at the week, the next 2 games, the onus is going to be on Leeds United to go and get a result. And we might see more of the ball. We might see more of the ball. I think for me, Skubala, we're hearing names, bro. We're hearing names. The guy over in Saudi, we're hearing Nuno. We're hearing the guy Clement, who's at Monaco. Don't believe the hype. They might be doing due diligence now, but if Skubala gets points, say if he gets 4 points from these next 2, they won't give it anyone. I'd put my house on that now. They're gambling again. You know what I mean? They're gambling. And it's not a great gamble. You shouldn't gamble at any point. We've seen it too many times with this board. The one gamble they got right was Bielsa. Everything outside of that's been terrible. I've genuinely blocked people on Twitter and on Facebook for backing the board. It's not even a case of them having people say, people who always get blocked always go, block me for having a difference of opinion, not taking into account that they abused you in the process. But genuinely, there's been people arguing with me, trying to back this board that I've got. I'll have a discussion, but when it's like banging your head against the brick wall, I just don't want you to I can't interact with that. I can't interact with it because I genuinely feel like you're lost. You're lost. If you can't see it, for 18 months, it's been brutal. It's been brutal for 18 months. It's just gone from bad to worse. And it don't look like it's going to get any better. Yeah, Vega, great analysis of the whole situation. That is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. Do you know what I mean? I think what I'd like to see at the weekend, because the onus is going to be on Leeds, and people might not agree with me and might not want to hear it, but we need more in midfield than just Adams and McKennie. We need Rocker. We need Rocker in order to be able to progress the ball for us. Because if we're going to create chances against Everton, he needs to add Rocker to the mix. I don't know who drops out. Does that mean Jack's going to have to drop out? Potentially. Could you move Nonto to the right and have Jack on the left? Because I'd still like to see Jack in there. Somerville, though, is very dangerous. That's harsh on Somerville. But for me, you have to have Rocker in there. I'm not sure I agree we will create enough with McKennie and Adams. They're very industrious. McKennie will run all days up and down. I do think he's carrying extra timber. People will say, he's just built that out. I do think he could do a losing a bit. Jody says, you think Scoobs keeps us up if we go down, worrying what might happen? Yeah, listen, this is what I'm saying about the gambling. If we go down, then the manager they want anyway in the summer's not coming. So it's a pointless exercise. This is what I'm saying. It's a pointless exercise. That's why they should be going out to get someone who's just best man for the job that they can get and spend what you need. Do you know what I mean? I hope that. But at this moment in time, and look, I've got a good friend of mine who's an Everton fan, and he messaged me yesterday and he says, I've had money on Nuno a couple of days. I said, mate, Skubala. And he went, well, the betting's still up. And I went, yeah, no. I get that. I think, but, I think he was 6-4. I said, just get it on Skubala, because if he gets results, they'll give him the job. But anyway, he's an Everton fan. So then we got chatting and he says, what are you thinking for the weekend? And I said, I think you beat us, mate. And he went, really? I think you beat us. We're terrible. I said, well, our board's clueless, man. We've put ourselves in this situation. I don't know, but they feel exactly the same. They had a new manager bounce against Arsenal, worked great against Liverpool, but did hit the post just before Salah scored. It's going to be interesting to see how this weekend goes. This what worries me as well, right? Giving you that lowdown on Skubala, highest level at futsal, you could argue, national side, done well, yeah, got us to our highest ever ranking, worked at non-league level, worked at youth level at Forest and Coventry, and now Leeds United. But it's the Premier League. It's the Premier League, and it's Sean Dyche. Like, he is the antipathy, the old wild head, the experienced head. I suppose one of the great points is that we have in our arsenal is the fact that Skubala's an unknown entity. I think Connor touched on that earlier. He is an unknown entity. We have to give him props for going up against Ten Hag, because Ten Hag is a great tactician. A great manager. I remember comments after Man United versus Chelsea and seeing them two great tacticians. Say what you want about Potter. Chelsea is still a great manager, and I wouldn't have said otherwise. Because I remember making a point of saying it's interesting to watch these actually use tactics, whereas our manager's pure vibes, and I got battered for it at the time as well. But Ten Hag is very good. So the fact that he stood up to that, we should give him a lot of praise for that. I think, in futsal as well, in the article that he talks about, he says, it is, you can make up to 80 changes a game. So I guess there is always a case of like, what can we get to get little increment gains? I'm trying to find the positives that we can pull across into the football. But look, did you see in the marked improvement since Skubala's coming after Jesse left? The argument is yes. It's a resounding yes. Yeah. You could argue
I guess that Jesse, oh, well, he did well and he could have got us something. Maybe. We'll never know, right? Just like we'll never know if Bielsa would have took us down, etc. It is just pure guesswork. But for me personally, I've seen an improvement. But this is where the test comes, because even Jesse and this team did well against better sides. The one problem we have, and this is the difference with Bielsa, yeah, we might have got spanked, but he always did well against the bottom six, never lost to anyone in the bottom six. Let me just put some further clarity on that, because people always say, what do you mean we lost to this team, this team? They were never in the bottom six when we lost to them, right? Because I think the Everton game, I can't remember, but people were going, no, you're wrong, but there is validity to that. Anyway, yeah, Bielsa always did well against bottom six sides, whereas under the previous manager, that wasn't the case, because he didn't have the tactical nous to be able to break down the low blocks, the mid blocks. When the manager, his opposite number, made tactical changes, we had no answer. You could argue, actually, on Sunday, there was a little bit of that from Ten Hag by bringing in Martinez, playing him at centre-back, which freed up Shaw to play at left-back. He also put Weghorst in the 10, Rashford in behind, and Rashford up top. And where did the goal came from? It came from Shaw, ball into the box, Rashford back of the net. And our subs just were not great. I think Skubala said he wanted to use Rutter instead of Bamford because he had the pace to get him behind, etc. But it didn't really come off, did it? Didn't come off. Ten Hag's did. So you could argue he's been one up there by Ten Hag. But listen, Skubala's not pretending to be a top manager. Skubala's not talking in press conferences like he's the second fecking coming. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we got. Skubala didn't even really want the job, if we're being honest. He said straight away, no, I'm just here to get us from game to game, and then we're waiting for the man and all this sort of stuff. Oh, listen, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Everton's huge. I just feel as well, if Skubala was to lose at Everton, and I don't think he'll get any I don't think he'll get any backlash from the fans unless he makes mad decisions, and then we're on a year afterwards saying, why did he make that decision? Why did he make that sub, etc. But if we lose, say 1-0 to a set piece or whatever, because that's what they'll look for, there is a big chance that it gets toxic at Ellen Road against Southampton, and the club need to be aware of that. The board need to be aware of that. Sack of the board. Thank you, Big Pundit, for the compliment, bro. They need to be aware of that, because what happened is they sacked Jesse before Man United, gave Skubala midweek to all nice, good atmosphere on Sunday. But what they've done in the space of 9 days where we failed to appoint a manager is just put it back on them. And to say Rads is a media mogul, it blows my mind, because some of the decisions are mental. Socios, Myanmar, Oh, man. Scally says, bro, you stay complaining about Jesse. This is what I'm saying. So just to put some on this, everyone used to batter me for talking about Bielsa. He's the only one you can compare it to. This is what I don't understand. Your new manager you compare to the most recent. So now what's happening is we're comparing Skubala to Jesse, because he's gone and now it's improved. What do you want me to do? Oh, it's improved. I'm not sure why and how and why the players' attitudes have changed and why the tactics have changed. Is it because the previous manager's no longer with us? Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. And what was his name? Jesse. Oh, no, sorry, I can't say Jesse. Like, what are we doing here? You're going to lambast me for speaking about Bielsa. Now I'm being lambasted for speaking about Jesse. Like, what are you on about? Come on now. What are you supposed to do? Honestly, it fries my head. You would not believe. Average Avocado says, how has it improved? It's the same tactics. It's not, man. It's not. You can see. So for example, I was listening to something the other day. Again, I don't profess to be all-seeing, all-knowing. You know that, right? I'm very much an emotional guy and react that way. But with regards to Leeds United, and I listened to a thing the other day, and they were speaking about Jesse and his time at RB Leipzig, and they said that he was unable to create attacking moments without leaving them frail at the back. Like, we try to create transitions, and teams won't allow us to do that because of their low mid blocks. Average avocado, man, you're mad. Did he say tactical tweaks or not? Well, he said in the interview, it's the same tactics. You don't watch the Leeds interviews, fake fan, mate. I did a reaction to that press conference. Please watch it. Do you know what I mean? And you're saying, do you believe everything you hear, everything you see, everything you read, or do you look at the game? Do you watch the game? Did you watch the game? Have you got a Man City avatar as your picture? I suggest you just go to City Extra or something, mate. You clearly have banged your head or don't have a Scooby-Doo. But what I will say is, he said he tweaked the system a bit, and we can see that, right? We can see that. So as I was going to say, when he was creating attacks at Leipzig, and it was the same at Leeds, he left himself so open defensively. Yeah, he left himself so open defensively. However, we haven't seen that under Scoobs. We haven't really looked frail for me at the back. I don't think we have. I think we've looked defensively sound. The way in which we pressed is totally different. So totally different. And I think, any Leeds fan that watches us religiously will know that. Yeah. You will know that. Luke says, it's not that you're mentioning his name. I think it's because you're constantly slagging him off. Just like I was constantly praising Bielsa, at which point people then slagged me off. I also continuously said Jesse wasn't the man and took a barrage of abuse for the last year, Luke. So, forgive me for saying, I told you so. And that's where we're at. And I know people are trying to help. And I was talking to Connor about this the other day when people say, don't bite, don't react, don't do this. No, because sometimes we're human, right? And if people want to say things, and I'm like, no, you're not allowed to say that because X, Y, Z. I'm going to react, I don't think there were any. Luke, what I would say to you, what are the positives to take from Jesse's tenure? Give me some positives. Give me some positives to take from Jesse's tenure, other than the fact that he's took us backwards, left us in a relegation battle, injured our best striker, fed us with a load of BS. And like I said, you can't do wrong for doing right, because you're saying I'm slagging Jesse off and then I get battered for praising Bielsa. I haven't got over Bielsa and all that sort of stuff. It's mad. It is genuinely mad. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Honestly, it is. It's mad. It's mad. and there you go. There you go. So that's just a little bit of emotion, I guess, coming out to you. But it is what it is. These things happen. Damar, I've told you. Just because I don't give you the answer, that you want, I've told you, no, he wouldn't have. No, he wouldn't have. But that's by the by now, man. We move, don't we? We move. We're in a totally different situation now. But there you go. It is what it is. Yeah. I never get as well. Someone's just tweeted me and tweeted a picture of me because I've blocked them. How did he know I was blocked? Do you know what I mean? How did he know I was blocked? Why? He's clearly wanting to engage. Honestly, like, you've literally, if you don't like what I put out, then don't watch. This is what I'm saying. Do yourself a favor, because I think it's mad when. How does that guy know that I'm that he's blocked? How does he know that he's blocked? Because he searched for me. And then he's decided to show everyone that he's blocked. And the reason that he's blocked is because he says, relentlessly negative, constant owner and director bashing. Do you not think that you should, that this board needs bashing? It's mad, man. HGG, I don't block people who disagree with me. I don't, brother. That's not true. You will go on my accounts and see that I have many, many exchanges. Many, many exchanges. When people are nasty or say things, I just think, wow. Or when they're really complaining about me, when you're really complaining about me, right? I say, I will do you a favor and block you. Do you know what I mean? That I'm doing you a favor so you don't get angry. It's mad, man. It's mad. Honestly, it's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Brian. It is what it is, bro. These times will get worse before they get better, and the reason that is because of the situation we're in as a club. Oh man, I love that guy. Thank you very much for putting some truth on the name. I love it. Yeah, man. But my guy, Brian. Thank you for that. Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, David. I know you've just mentioned, you've just tagged me in it. What I don't understand is the guy's blocked. So why does he know that he's blocked? Is he coming to look? And the fact that he's showing a picture because I'm having a go at the board. Like, what does I genuinely think, why? Like, you're annoyed that I'm having a go at the board? Yeah, but Luke, what I will say, this is going proper wide, isn't it? But this is what happens when you build up a following. It's not enough for people to disagree with you. It comes with the territory, and I've learned to just have to accept it because it happens, bro. But if anyone says anything like really bad, I just block them. Difference of opinion, not. The only time I will is when someone's getting really angry and replying to all my tweets like angrily. I just say, like, I'm doing you a favor, so I'm going to block you now. That's all. You know what I mean? It's all love. It is all love. I would never, like I say, it's all love, man. That guy there, Chris 1014 Lee, if you're watching, you must do. Or maybe, I don't know. I love you, brother, okay? I'm sorry that I don't support the board like you do, but there's no need to call me names. But it's okay. We move. It is what it is. Right, listen. Leeds United, then Everton at the weekend. Massive game. Tomorrow we will have a reaction to Michael Skubala's press conference. I'm going to try speak to an Everton fan as well, just to get their thoughts of where they are with Dyche in the door and stuff. So try get an Everton fan on as well. And then obviously the game kicks off Saturday at 3:00. I'll have a preview out, your post-match and all that jazz. The Man City Arsenal game is on tonight. I did ask on YouTube if people would like me to do a watch along, but looking at it, like, it's 52% yes, 48% no. So I don't think I'm going to bother because it's a lot of work and I've been putting a lot of yards in. So I'd rather put out quality content that people want to watch as opposed to just filling up the time. So yeah, I'll try have a chat with Mike. We'll see what happens. But Baseline Bible, big up to you, man. He says, Joe, they are Leeds fans and Leeds football fans. The fans are spectators. The Leeds football fans analyse games with their opinions. People should realise that. Defo big investment. Now Jesse's gone, yeah. Jesse deal off. Ooh, big up to you, Gabe. Big up to you. I know you've been getting it. Right, well, okay. So I just want to say thank you as well there to Baseline Bible for that. Jesse's off, is it? Let's have a look. Let's see. One sec. Let me just see. Is there some news about that? Telegraph. Let's have a look. Oh, Jesse off. Talks between Southampton and Jesse Marsh have broken down. Club not keen on a long-term contract given current situation. Ruben Sellers is to take the Chelsea game and the club still see him as a viable longer-term option, potentially with a more experienced coach. Story to follow. There you go. Marsh isn't coming to the Premier League, isn't returning to the Premier League. Thank you very much for everyone tagging me in that. There you go then. So Jesse Marsh is not going to be the new Southampton manager. Talks have broken down over a longer term deal. It's quite interesting, isn't it? That he wanted a longer term deal. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't think it is that push because there was talk about that. As I say, I do sample a lot of football content and I try to always further my knowledge. And I listen to them talking about Jesse potentially going for the American job, but actually he's eager to stay in club football for a bit longer yet. Obviously, if he doesn't get the specific job, then he may take that USA men's national team. But he did want that Southampton job. They've obviously said to him, look, we'll give you 18 months, and he wants something a little bit longer. That's what it reads to me. The full article will be out, but just so you can see, just one moment there, and I'll share my screen with you. Here we go. The Southampton fans were buzzing as well. They'll be gutted. Look, there you go. It says talks between Southampton and Marsh broken down. Club are not keen on a longer term contract. So it was clearly that Jesse that wanted that longer term deal, and the club have said no, thank you. Ruben Sellers, who must be one of their coaches, I'd imagine, he's going to take the Chelsea game at the weekend, and they see him as a viable longer term option. So there you go. Then maybe they said to Jesse, try keep us up, and then we're going to give it Sellers. You know, we'll give you 18 months. We'll give you a 12-month deal or whatever. And Jesse's, rightly so, probably wants more security. That's what Leeds United tried to do, you know, with the likes of Corberan. Even maybe, you know, managers further afield. We've tried to, you know, we've tried to say, oh, just come for this long. And these managers, rightly so, have gone, no, if you want my services, like, I want a longer term. So if it does go tits up, I'm getting a payout. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting a payout because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about if you're sacking me, you're going to have to pay me off kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? So I understand that. I wouldn't berate Jesse for that. It makes that game a little less spicy, but that's all good. It means we're probably going to win now, which is fine because I was worried about that game. I've done myself a disservice because had you got that job and we'd have lost, believe me, America would have come for me. America in their groves would have come for me. America! They'd have been for me, man. Trust me. The views would have been through the roof, but I'd have been crying. I'd have been crying into my cornflakes. It is what it is. Listen, I think we'll leave it there. Nothing more to cover. Listen, we're hoping and praying Michael Skubala can get the job done. Let me just check Colin before we go. Made my day, Joe, that news. I was going to Ellen Road with my Saka the Board signs and Jesse out shirt. Yeah, watch this space. Someone sent me, big up to my man Danny, sent me a great picture. I absolutely loved, and I was thinking I'm going to get it on a t-shirt, you know. I want it on a t-shirt just for shits and giggles. I'm going to show you it anyway. One sec. Let me get rid of these comments. Saka Dabod. Saka Dabod. I was thinking that would look sick on a black t-shirt. So watch this space on that. I was having a look at t-shirt printers earlier on. I just really like it. So we'll have to wait and see. Colin, thank you very much and for the support. Yeah. Listen. Love you all. Sorry for a little bit of emotional meltdown just a second ago, but it just can be a bit upsetting sometimes, and I get it. It's all part of the game, but it's like, why? Like, if I blocked you, just leave it, man. Don't be buzzing. That's what I don't understand. Anyway, Joe, shut up. We move. Listen, I won't bother with the watch along tonight, just based on the numbers. However, watch this space because I might do some FIFA streaming. It's only 2:30. We've got a while yet. Maybe I'll do some FIFA streaming up to the game. So watch this space. I'm also waiting to... this is class mug. I know my kids got it me for my birthday because obviously I do this streaming and it's a big mug. I bought myself a coffee machine as a treat. So it's like full with coffee, and obviously it's football related. So this is why they bought me. So big up the kids, man. Yeah, big up my kids. I love them. Millie, Maisie, and Harry. Anyway, right, listen, sack of the board. I'm going to leave you with that, actually. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and as I say, I'll probably do a FIFA stream later on. I am also looking at getting Football Manager 23 on the PlayStation. I think that would be sick, streaming that. I think I might actually just purchase it. Wait and see. Because that'd be sick, wouldn't it? Show Jesse and all them guys how to get on. Maybe we'll do that. Watch this space. Might even be live within an hour, to be honest. I'll go take the dogs for a walk and then might be back because I love being here. Big up to you all. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell, and I'm gonna see you on the other side. What I'm gonna do is just leave you with this. Peace.